So I think the question that a lot of us face that are part of the LGBTQIA+ community is, who are we outside of what the world has told us to be? Who are you outside of what your culture has told you to be? Who are you outside of what your parents, with good intentions, have asked you or told you to be? This term was developed by Kimberly in the late 1980s as a metaphor to help us understand how different forms of disadvantage can intersect and compound, creating barriers that the traditional justice systems don't always address or understand. Intersectionality is like a prism through which we better understand complex experiences of oppression. In community services, intersectionality should be at the core of how we support our clients and their family members. I think clients advocating for their own needs in their own voice, from their own perspective, is so essential. Often we're very focused on just diagnosis, and we're not actually then catering to culture, to all those other complexities. And that's why having an intersectional understanding, framework and lens helps you then look beyond just, oh, you're diagnosed with this, and oh, you're a child, because what you might do is perpetuate more harm instead of understanding, oh, this person has the right to also decide how their supports look. And so I like that, instead of being overwhelmed just with the full thing, maybe sitting and reflecting and breaking it all down and putting it into different classifications, maybe even prioritizing. What's first? What are we going to tackle first? And then what are we going to do later on? So I'm going to give you a scenario, and this is the gorgeous Miriam. Miriam is a 15-year-old autistic teen who experiences sensory overstimulation and overwhelm. Occasionally, she has difficulty with verbal expression. She has chronic joint pain, and that's due to hypermobility. Recently, she has started to question her sexual orientation. Miriam lives in a Muslim household. Her parents are viewed as very strict, who insist that she attends their mosque. And at the mosque, it is quite conservative. Also, please note, we're not talking against religion here. Religion is a beautiful thing. A lot of the practices and teachings actually help people to live very full lives. So I just want to preface that so that you don't have any bias thinking that I'm saying anything. When Miriam has gone and expressed some of those views at the mosque, she received some warnings from some of the members that being different could mean that she could be in sin. Miriam's mother has been speaking to the support providers, Leora, on her behalf, but frequently downplays Miriam's disability. Her mother insists on being present for all support appointments. Often her mother speaks over Miriam and rejects any accommodations that the team place forward. In her intake sessions, the support coordinator has noticed Miriam is impatient, sometimes forgetful, and Miriam sometimes misplaces things, often in these sessions. And when her mother asks her to do things or say things or bring up a memory, Miriam tends to be forgetful. When Traidy discusses the possibility of Miriam requiring an ADHD assessment, her mother insists all she needs is more vitamins. Miriam has recently started presenting more masculine in the way that she walks and expresses herself. However, Miriam's mother has been pressuring her to be a good girl, to conform to traditional norms, like wearing dresses and behaving more appropriately and feminine. When Miriam speaks up, her mother says to her, "You don't need any education on sex, because sex is only for people who are going to have children." What I've seen is often parents are there trying to protect. They're trying to encourage, they're trying to nurture, they're trying to teach as best as possible from what has been inherited from their parents, their grandparents. So sometimes we might perceive something to be limiting, but that might not be the intention. So it might be a good intention that's just manifesting its way in that particular instance as harmful. And so we need to be tactful in challenging that and testing it as time goes by.